Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
I'm Cooper Burke for Combat Sports UK here with Damon the Leech Jackson. Damon, how are you, man?
Doing pretty good, man. How you been?
Been good, staying busy, you know. So you are taking on a guy named Chepe Mariscal in less than a week. How do you feel coming in on such short notice?
I feel great, man. I was feeling really good for the July 20th. So now that I've got an extra 2 weeks of training, it's been really good. So I feel really confident about my camp and about the process and everything. So weight's good, cardio's great. I'm just ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So were you already ready to go when you got that call from the UFC? Was that something you were like, I'm going to take it right then and there?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of expecting it whenever I heard about. I mean, I was helping a few teammates get ready for their fights, and then when I heard about Danny Gay stepping up, I looked at it as an opponent. I was like, who's he fighting? And then I looked at it and I was like, I've seen this guy fight before. So I immediately, before they even asked me, I told them that I was ready to fight if they wanted to switch it up. And they called me like the next day. And they're like, yeah, done deal. So.
Yeah, so I've actually never really been on the inside of that process at all. So you said that you notified the UFC and they called you back the next day. So what is it like taking a fight on short notice and what else does that really entail?
Well, I mean, like Dan stepping up, it's not really inside information. I just saw that he was stepping up and I knew that that would be a quick turnaround for him to fight. The fight at 300 and then fight a couple weeks later. So I hit him up and I was like, hey man, are you taking this fight? The next fight, on the 20th. And he was like kind of like he I don't think he really knew what he was gonna do yet. But like as soon as the fight was over, I hit him up and because me and Dan are like I talk to him like very often. Like we talk every once in a while about whatever's going on. And I'll just tell him like good job or like whatever. And so whenever I saw that he was out of his fight, I hit him up and he kind of said that he didn't say he was out of the fight, but I could tell that there was some hesitation because it was a quick turnaround. So like I told my manager I was ready. I told Sean I was ready. So I was just staying down with my weight, staying down with my cardio, and just trying to get as ready as I could for that 20th. But now that I've got 2 weeks, it feels like I have a full camp.
Yeah, absolutely. You learned pretty early on that they were moving the fight back to the 10th. Did you ever find out what the reason for they're moving the fight back happened, or was it just something that you?
No, I don't really know exactly. I really don't, but I feel like I kind of know, but I don't I didn't hear from Sean, I didn't hear from anyone else, so I'll just keep it to myself. But I'm pretty sure that it wasn't on my side of it. It might have been on his side that he was one extra time to train.
Yeah, for sure. So Chepe Mariscal has won 3 in a row in the UFC, but you've also won your most recent fight. You're coming off some good momentum. What do you feel like you can do to mitigate the run that he's been on?
Like the runs are runs, whatever. You put together a couple wins over guys that aren't ranked, then it kind of like it builds you up for a ranked fight, which is what he was getting with Danny. So I fought those tough guys. I came in short notice fight. It's just like you fight tough ranked guys, and you get to be tested that way. But him winning the fights outside the rankings is kind of like it just shows that he's tough. He's durable. He's like the next guy to be testing the top 15. So that's kind of like Danny Gay's like that. He kind of holds that spot where he's like the top 10, top 15, and he holds that spot really well with people coming in. But I think that Dan would have won the fight against Chepe in a lot of ways, and I think that there's a lot of things I can take from the matchup and win this fight. And he's a tough dude for sure. He's been tested. LFA was tested. Like his UFC run was on a short notice. He came in, and then he's had two good performances since then. So dude's tough.
Certainly. So what do you think you do well that gives him problems? You guys obviously have different styles, and I'm sure that's going to play a big part in the fact that you are a great wrestler, and that's something that he tends to struggle with. So, what in particular have you noticed that's going to give him a handful?
Yeah, I think he out wrestled his last fight, and the guy was a Muay Thai striker, whatever. So I think the wrestling is definitely there. My wrestling's back 100%. I feel more healthy than I have in the last 6 7 fights. So it's nice to have the wrestling back, to have my cardio back, to have my mindset back, and I'm just ready to go. And I think that like I could pick apart his style, he could pick apart mine, but it's gonna be a scrap for sure because he's tough. He doesn't back down very easy. So I think that it's going to be a really really tough fight for both of us. But I like a lot of aspects of it, and that's all I can do is prepare for what my strengths are.
Yeah, absolutely. Last time we talked, you were in camp for the Alexander Hernandez fight, and you told me that this was like, I want to say it was the first camp in a long time where you felt healthy. How did it feel going into that fight against Alexander Hernandez? Obviously, you won that fight, but in the process of the fight, you looked healthy. It looked like you had gotten your wrestling back. How did it feel to kind of have your full skill set at your disposal once again?
I think that I was kind of lacking my confidence with wrestling then, but now I've got my wrestling confidence like through the roof. So I think that even more than what I did last time, I'll have a great performance this fight for wrestling and for grappling. It'll be a good fight for me in that aspect. But like that fight, I wasn't super happy with it. I really wanted to finish. I really wanted to like put the pressure on him and get a finish, but he's been tested by everyone. He's tough. It was kind of frustrating, honestly, to not get a finish. But I just gotta go out there and like kind of get back to my old style where like that forward pressure and taking people down and looking for that control. And so that's what I kind of feel like I'm back at that with this whole camp has been. It's been great.
Yeah, absolutely. You said you have a great camp. Is part of that because you're coming off a statement win? And I mean, obviously, the judges didn't see it as the most of the rest of us saw it. They had a split decision, but you obviously still got the win. But do you feel like this camp you had a little bit of extra momentum with that win? Like you had some air in your tires?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, like I don't feel like I lost the Billy Q fight, but it was the loss of my record. So I had to build off of that, and I feel like I definitely have momentum back with that aspect of like winning whatever. But it's really just my performances, like in practice. That's what I feel like I'm back at 100% because I'm getting tested by tough guys, and to have my wrestling back and to have that ability to like take it where I want it to go, it's been great mentally for sure.
Yeah. So do you think that how do you plan to um, mitigate Mariscal and his technicality on the feet?
I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say he's super technical. I think that he's definitely a scrapper and he's tough, but like his stand up, is kind of scrappy and wild, and he's a brawler for sure. That's what he lists his style as is a brawler. So um, anyone that lists their style that way is kind of reckless, and I think that's what he is. I think he's a little reckless. So if he doesn't catch you with a big clean shot, like he's going to be easy to get in on. So I'm looking at a 3 round battle, but I'm not trying to take it that far for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So how did it feel, getting your hand raised again? I mean, we talked about the camp, how it felt, but in that moment, once again, coming out on the right side of things, how was it hearing your name called? for the 20, excuse me, the 23rd time in your career.
Yeah, no, I mean it's always nice. It's always refreshing to get that because obviously like that's the motivation there. It's like you're motivated to win because at record, you're motivated to win, but like financially, but like just really like just getting back in the routine of like that whole system where I'm winning, 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 and maybe I take a loss and I get back to wins. It was nice to get back on track because I really didn't feel like I lost the Billy fight, and it was frustrating to to not get my hand raised that fight. But it is what it is. I gotta look for finishes. I gotta get back to those ways for sure.
Yeah. Is there anything in particular that you learned that you're looking to apply this time out?
Really just preparation for the fight has been different because I've never been this prepared, but I've never really put effort into my recovery and things like that. So, just after this last few fights of having rough weight cuts and having the rough rehydration, I put some effort into that, and it's paid off so much. And I could only imagine that I would have like a good weight cut for this fight, and that goes so far because when you have a bad weight cut, your performances are usually trash. And my worst performances are when I have bad weight cuts. So I'm hoping that since things have been going pretty smooth, I hope that it continues that direction and I make weight well and nothing crazy happens and go from there.
Yeah. So you'd say that you physically feel different because of the recovery efforts you've been taking?
Yeah, I think that just being a little selfish with my time now. Last few months, I've been able to kind of like put some effort into like not working so much, not teaching so much, and not training all the time for everyone. It's kind of given me that time to like take some time and recover, either ice baths or just stretching or just light days training or whatever it is. I definitely feel like I'm in a better spot. And mentally, that helps a lot too.
Yeah. So you would say that um, your training partners and your gym, they understand that you're, really taking this time to focus on yourself, and have they been supportive of you in this kind of transition in the way that you train for a fight?
Yeah, like all of my staff at my gym, man, like they're my friends and like they're my teammates. And like so when I ask them, I'm like, hey, can you guys cover this night so I can recover before I have sparring in the morning or before like whatever. And like I have so many guys that have stepped up like that and just really helped me out. I have a teammate, his name's Terrell. He's an amateur coming into his pro debut, but he's very educated with his teaching and stuff, and he's helped me out a lot. Fernie Garcia, he was in the UFC. He's actually teaching at my place a lot, and he's building his way back up that way. And then my one of my teammates that I brought up from the beginning, he's been a client, a teammate, a friend, Ricky Ron. Those guys have been really helping me out with just preparation and with my gym, with classes and things like that. So it's giving me extra time to train and to focus on what's important. What's keeping that gym going is the fact that I'm still fighting. I'm still focused on what I want, my goals and things like that. So it's nice to kind of get back on track because I took about a year and a half off where I was kind of like focused on just opening my gym and getting that going. And now that that's kind of like self-sufficient, I'm kind of been able to like step back and really train the right way. So it's been great.
Yeah, we spoke about your gym and what that means to you. And you just mentioned your goals. So what are the goals? What are your goals for the rest of the year? Do you want to try and get one more fight in? What is the
At
last 4 months of the
least
year look for you?
at least one more. I'm hoping two more, but at least one more. Two is going to be a stretch for sure because I'm looking at getting a top 15 opponent next fight. So I got to go out there and beat Chepe obviously, and then I got to look at getting a top 15 opponent, and then hopefully that that fight plays out well where I can have one more in this year. So I like to stay busy. I hate not having a fight because that's all anyone ever talks about is like when's your next fight? How's training going, or whatever. So it's like it's kind of frustrating when I don't have a fight because I'm like, I don't know. I'll let you know when I know. So kind of, I'm just kind of basic questions, but I'm just trying to, manage mentally and physically everything. So it's kind of like it's frustrating when I don't have a fight.
Do you feel like you're kind of spinning your wheels when you don't have a fight to work towards?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like I really enjoy training. Like I enjoy working out. I enjoy like the process. But I think that you're definitely motivated more when you have uh like you have like a style to train for. You have like a visual of what your opponent is, and like their stance, their style, their face, like their record or whatever. So like you have other motivations when you actually have someone in that position to be your opponent and stuff. So I don't know, but I just enjoy the process for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so, one last question. You talked a lot about your travels to Mexico. I haven't really heard about that. So tell me a little bit about your travels to Mexico and how that was.
Yeah, man. I just like to take a break. I like to go there because it's like from Texas. It's like the closest beach. It's just a quick trip. From here or to go to Florida. Either way. I love beach. I love water. So, I just like getting down there. I love the vibe down there. So, I definitely like every time. Like when my flights are over, that's what I look forward to. But for a year and a half, I didn't take any trips. I didn't do anything. So I was kind of like, mentally, I was ready to take a break, but I just could never find the time to do it. So now that things have kind of like slowed down a little bit with my gym and things like that, I'm able to like get back on my fight travel and then come back. Uh, it's been nice. It really has been. I've been crazy busy, but it's been nice to get some traveling on. So I'm definitely looking forward to a trip after this fight.
Is there anywhere in particular that you want to go, or you just kind of
I was
see where
looking
it
at
takes you?
Belize. I think that'd be a cool place, or Hawaii. But I don't know. Hawaii is a long flight for me, and I would rather like beaches or beaches kind of thing. If the water's clear, like I'm happy. I don't like dark water. I don't like not knowing if there's a shark in the water. Like I like to know what's there. So I like seaside or Destin or Clearwater Beach, and then going into Mexico, I love Cozumel.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Gulf's a great place. That's kind of where we go. It's close enough to us that we can just drive down. So I really don't blame you. But Damon, thank you so much for taking the time on this short notice, and best of luck for the rest of your camp. And obviously, enjoy your weekend with your family. I know you've been looking forward to that. And just
Yeah,
thanks again.
yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Well, have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, later.
Bye.